By widening one's perspective of anything, a greater understanding of interconnectedness of life variables is achieved. Better understanding naturally leads to better decisions. We apply this principle in every decision we make at our center, and it can be seen in the application of our values.
Anastasia Litvinova, the owner of the school, had a desire to create Montessori as an authentic, real Montessori center, not something that was partially, but something that tried to achieve the richness of Montessori. And because I shared this, I came from the US to help her achieve this. We started with nothing. It was grass on the ground. She and I and others sat down and planned out every doorknob, every window, every floor, every ceiling in every room. We wanted to make it as close to Montessori as we possibly could. The building was created with Montessori, authentic Montessori in mind. It was created with a lot of our values in mind. We all share those values of being close to nature. Nature is very accessible. All of the classrooms were built with large floor-to-ceiling windows that makes you feel like you're connected to nature. The natural light that comes in through the classrooms shines on the materials, makes them just perfectly accessible and to the children. The buildings used natural materials. There aren't plastics or a lot of things that are unnatural. We use a lot of wood and natural light in the classrooms. Our value of authentic Montessori also relates to the fact that all of the classrooms are specifically built for the children. So the kitchens are small. Everything is accessible to the children. If we can do it in the classroom, a version of that is also available for the children to do, or close to. The children are part of the classroom. They create their own environment as we are also creating our own environments. And we planned out the creation of the school, everything from who would work here, the materials that we would purchase. They had to be authentic Montessori materials. They had to be designed for the children of that age level, whatever age level we were working with, 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, and so on. The school was developed with Montessori in mind. I came on starting as a teacher in the 3 to 6 room. I was stuck between office and classroom most days, and eventually was able to bring in some people into the school that shared our vision, and the vision for the school of an authentic Montessori center, combined with other values that we all shared. Healthy lifestyle, environment, beautiful forests around, clean air, these types of things. And people that shared those visions came to work with us. I was able to move into the office, which was wonderful. Then we started to grow as a school. We now have parent-infant class, toddler classes, and CASA classes. People coming to work in our Montessori Center, guides and assistants and everyone feels comfortable in our environment because it was partially designed for them in mind. Children feel comfortable, and in order to teach those children, guides must also feel comfortable. The guide is free to change his or her environment in order to make it the Montessori classroom that he or she wants. I began as a guide myself, so I understand a lot about what it means to be comfortable in a center, and also to have the tools that you need in order to make your parents and your children a part of your Montessori experience. The staff room, the office room, has large spaces for seminars. We often give seminars for our parents to help with their education. The staff room is available for hanging out and relaxing during the day for staff members. We've also have a full kitchen. It's very comfortable to sit down, have a meal at the table. we're kind of like family here. It's a very close environment for working. In order to maintain your level of education in Montessori, we have a library. It's a full, one of the largest libraries in Montessori in anywhere, I'm guessing. The books are available for checkout for staff members or to recommend for parents if they want to take them home and also use them. We have a very collaborative and cooperative team here. The people may come from many different places. We've had people from Sri Lanka, people from America, people from China. Many different languages are spoken here. So by being so different, I feel like our team accepts people that are different, and it creates very collaborative environment. Everyone works together. English is the dominant language, of course. Everyone speaks either fluent English or is very close to fluent, so it's a very supportive environment in that regard. But our differences, our internationalism is kind of what makes the team really interesting. I view this as a very safe place from which to explore the rest of the country. It feels like a family when working together in the center. I've always enjoyed working here. Every aspect of the center makes me feel like my job means something, and people here take that job very seriously, which I think is, people might mention, oh, it's great, there are horses around, it's a beautiful area, I can go hiking in the forest anytime I want. The living quarters are very close by, so it's very convenient. It's a nice area, but I think that most Montessori guides, the thing that probably is most important to them is the fact that this center is designed for Montessori, and I feel like I can fulfill my career desires by being here. So I think it's the most important thing about working here. When I first came here, I was new. Everything is difficult at first. But luckily, the school learned from these experiences. Because I came here about 5 or more years ago, depending on when you're watching this film, I came here and developed some idea about how to help make people more comfortable in Russia. So we offer now Russian language lessons, we have accommodation close by, we form sort of a community of Montessorians. So we have an open exchange of ideas amongst ourselves, a little home that's created in order to venture out and do other things in Russia and in Moscow. Along the way, I got help for doing the small things in life here. People helped me out. They helped me to get my phone set up, my internet, all the connections that I had to my family back home. So I Skyped a lot with my family. I watched some American television shows to make me feel more comfortable until I started to integrate into Russian culture more. But as time went by and I stayed here longer and longer, I got more and more comfortable with Russian culture, and now I love it. I love every aspect of Russian culture, and I like learning about those things. When I first came here, I sort of went out on my own. We didn't have any established systems yet, so I rented my own apartment. Had some interesting times with landlords and the like. So when the school was able to institute a system of purchasing apartments nearby the school and offering them to guides who were coming from abroad, it was perfect. I took one immediately and moved close to the school, so I could walk 5 minutes to the school. The apartments were amazing, high ceilings and beautiful furnishings. Really made me feel like home. I do enjoy the charm of an old Stalin building in Moscow, but these are newer buildings and have all the modern accommodations that you'd expect. I think one of the most important ways that I integrated myself into Russian culture was 100% learning Russian. As soon as I started learning that my bus driver was not shouting at me. He was simply saying, hello, oh, it's my American friend, welcome on the bus. I felt much more at home, and Russian language lessons were a major part of that. So I highly recommend that people take Russian language when they get here. The school helps to set that up, so it's something to take advantage of and make you feel more at home. Сейчас я говорю четко и медленно, и люди понимают. Russia has so much to offer as far as culture, history and culture, I think. The biggest for me was history. I hugely enjoy history of all kinds, American history and now Russian history. So the times that Russians have gone through are unique to Russia, and they are what make Russian people Russian. So to learn a bit about it was very interesting for me. I spent a lot of time in St. Petersburg learning about Tsarist times, revolutionary times, and I have a particular interest in détente with America and sort of post-Cold War, the transition to something different. So those are things that interest me personally, but there's so much to do here. Sightseeing, you can see amazing museums and art exhibits and things like that, but just going out and going to a Russian football game, a soccer game, is incredibly interesting from a cultural point of view. It depends on what you're into as a person, but there's everything here that there is in other places. As far as sport, I love cross-country skiing, so here there's a forest outside, very close to the school. There's trails that go all over, so I loved cross-country skiing and bicycling. If you're coming from a country such as the US or Australia or the UK even, you're probably going to be very happy with the transportation situation in Russia. For me, it was great. There's so many regional trains. The metro system is the crown jewel of Russia. The metro stations are absolutely beautiful. They're worth going to even if you're not traveling, just if you're sightseeing. But I used to take them every day, and they're quick, efficient. 2 minutes maybe you'll wait for a train. I live in New York City now, and you can wait for 20 minutes and the train won't come. There's always construction, always problems, but in Moscow things run very smoothly. Taxis are easy, phone apps are plentiful, so there's lots of ways to get around. The bus system is well developed, even out in the outskirts of Moscow. So it's a very easy place to get around, and it can really open up day trips if you like to go to small estates around the area or out to parks, or Sokolniki Park is a nice one to go to just to be leisurely. So I really think that the transportation system here is top class.
Because we understand that at that age children are more emotional than rational. Responsible, consistent and warm people are what we look for. A person who works for our center should always be open to a lifetime of learning. Montessori teachers come from a wide range of backgrounds. For our teacher positions, the most important credential is AMI Montessori certification.